I'm Roy Spencer from Mercedes Heritage, and I'm driving something pretty darn rare this afternoon, out for a little road test here. Many of you would recognize the interior of a 123 wagon, but you may have noticed that I'm shifting a manual gearbox, which is definitely contrary to a 123 wagon. This is an extremely rare car, I've been at Mercedes Classic Car World for 35 years, and this is only the second 280TE 5-speed that I've had. Extremely rare car. Of course, we never saw this car in the United States. All the US wagons were 3-liter initially non-turbo, and then 81 forward turbocharged 5-cylinder wagons, 300 TDs. Wonderful cars, and definitely have become iconic cars, and great ones have enormous value. We never saw this car. This was never destined for the United States. So this is a 280TE. So 280 relates to 2.8 liter. In this case, the 2.8 liter M110 double overhead cam inline 6-cylinder. T for touring, and relating to the wagon aspect of the car, and E for Einspritzer. So 2.8 liter 6-cylinder gasoline fuel injected 6-cylinder wagon. Extremely rare here, extremely rare. I forced myself to buy a really tired one last year. I drove it for about half the year because I just couldn't turn it down, even though it was really neglected. This is not the case with this car. This is a beautifully preserved champagne beige Palomino MB Tex interior, highly optioned wagon. A Dutch market car initially, before it came to the United States, barely a year old. Nicely optioned, of course, the 5-speed manual gearbox, factory sliding sunroof, factory air conditioning, power windows, roof rack, and also the removable sidebars for the roof rack, third seat, the dual roll cover shade, and the vertical netting. A wonderful car, and 5-speed manual gearbox, which really transforms the car. It transforms the car to more of a performance touring wagon, a true touring wagon. The US 300 TD wagons put out about 120 horsepower. This car, in its pure European spec, was about 185 horsepower, so massive power increase over the diesels. This car is a bit less than the 185 because it's come to California, and it has some emissions equipment on the car. And importantly, it's fully certified for California. It has the all-important BAR sticker in the car, so it's legal in California, which makes it even rarer. So it takes the wonderful practicality and comfort of the 123 wagons that we all love, and it actually gives it a level of performance here. It's a pretty quick little car. Vastly different feeling car than the diesel. None of the herky-jerky shift quality, the turbo lag, none of that. This is a very sporting 123 wagon, absolutely. It's also a nicely documented car. I think the owners of this car, once it arrived in the United States, were really aware they had something special, so massive group of documentation. Nicely preserved car, both the driving qualities and the cosmetics of the car really belie its 270,000 miles that it's covered. There's been some restoration work on the interior. I think all the carpeting was changed at one time and done to an extremely high level. Extremely high level. It's hard to tell the carpeting from factory original. It's a really unusual car. I mean, bringing this car to any Mercedes Club event, you're definitely not going to be met with another 5-speed gas twin cam 6-cylinder wagon. So that's part of the fun of it. It just doesn't exist in the United States, so it makes it that much more fun. When you go to different gatherings, you're going to be a hit for sure. But don't hesitate to give me a call or contact me if you have any questions about the car. I know these cars well. I know this car well. We have a lot of documentation on the car. So don't hesitate to drop me a note. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. It's a wonderful car and extremely rare car. If you want one, you should really pay attention to this car, I have to say. Not repeatable anytime soon, for sure.